Hey, what's up guys, Samuel G. Still talking about some 7C. I wanna develop here a little bit more about the advancement system and the idea of the story. 7C second edition really I think he does it. I think this game does it well. Implement story game element in the gameplay, in the structure of the rules, and the advancement is one good example. The way advancement work in this game is one good example of that. So the game encourages the player and the GM to do one thing. It's called it's called the story, really. So you have like two layers. On one hand, you have your character story. So the player writes a goal, something he wants to accomplish, as the title kind of thing of his story. It's kind of like a title. And then he writes down steps. They will all take the form of sentences, your basic sentence of a phrase. And so the idea is that to reach the goal, here's the steps I will follow. And so that's one thing. So the advancement of the character will be linked to the achievement of that goal through those steps. And on the other hand, the GM needs to do the same thing, but with the plot kind of thing. And so you start by you have your episode story called, which is for one session. So here's the goal of the session, plot wise, and here's the steps that the character will go through to accomplish the session. Then you have another level where you write the goal of the campaign kind of thing, or the chapter, and the steps are gonna be the session kind of thing. And so this kind of architecture, this kind of story architecture through steps and through character are embedded mechanically in the advancement system. So they contribute on two levels. They contribute on the level of organizing play, structuring story. In the book, they don't call. I really like the way that they say it. It's not story. They use the word story, but it's structuring drama. You wanna get some structure to your drama. It's a really dramatic game, in a sense. Interesting game. Anyway, so the way you structure that helps determine how the character is gonna advancement. And so since you have the structure from the GM and you have a structure from the player itself, written and designed by the player itself, this is another way this game allows the players to participate actively in the storytelling. And so I always fall back to this dichotomy between games that are really GM driven, or and the player are more like in a reactive stance, versus the gameplay where the players are more active and participate in the story element. Now this game needs the player actively participate. The first level is definitely in the consequence and opportunity structure, which we have in Risk and in action sequence and dramatic sequence, where they spend their raises to choose how it's gonna happen. So this is the first way they are forced to participate in the story, in the scene framing and how it's gonna happen and all that. And then the other level is in the advancement. So you know, all players like to see their character grow. It's an intrinsic, fundamental, cool part of RPGs. And then so what they did is that they designed it in a way that, hey, you need to write, you know, some kind of goal, some kind of stuff you want to do, and you actually need to be careful about that and reach the steps you've written for yourself in order if you want to see your character grow. So it's like a leash, right? Some kind of a leash to allow the player to do that, to actively participate in the storytelling. And so since these things can be public around the table, well, everybody kind of get to see where they're gonna fit, in which step they're gonna manage to achieve that. And what is really cool with this system is that, you know, let's say a player, you know, is heavy on acting and emotional development of the character. Well, the goal can be something like I want to fall in love with this character, or I want to go through my grief. You know, it doesn't have to be something like I want to kill this guy or I want to find this treasure. It can be something like I want to go through my grief. And so the steps are going to be emotional steps or emotional reactions toward that goal. So that's really nice because, you know, let's say you have a group of 4 players and one of the player has a character that this is what is advancement going to be like. And the game also suggests that the advancement illustrates the character story. So let's say, for example, you want to go through your grief. Well, the investment in point is going to have to be, you know, in resolve or in wits or something that is linked to that goal. You know, you're not going to become athletic because you went through a grief. So that is dope. And yeah, that is something I really like. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into all the details of how many points and all that because I think it's a little bit subjective in the game, but yeah. So that's the second reason, or that's the second design choice that they've made with this game that really create the story component, you know, the story game flavor or aspect to it, where the active participation of the player into the storytelling is embedded mechanically. And that is what I was saying last summer when I was talking about the modernization of RPGs, the way the new era seems to want to go through, right? It seems that it wants to go into that direction, and I really appreciate that. I find it really interesting, and I would love to see a game like 7C, you know, but in sci-fi or in cyberpunk or something like that. So that would be really, really cool. Maybe they're already out there, you know, maybe a game like The Veil in the cyberpunk genre has something similar. You know, it's to come though. Especially with the popularity, like it was so popular. 7C Second Edition was so popular. I feel like it's gonna influence a lot the culture and the hobby yet to come, and I hope so because, this is good stuff. So yeah, so anyone who've played some 7th Sea, let me know what you think about these elements. And if you have any question, if you have a specific topic you want me to discuss in this series on 7th Sea 2nd edition, let me know, and I'll try my best to give my comments on it. All right, thank you for watching.